Hey everyone, it's Laurie and Alex again with Real Talk. And today, what we're going to talk about is I think really agents are looking for more ways to get inventory right now. Okay. And that is because you're going nuts with trying to find homes for your buyers. And your buyers are going crazy because there's nothing for them to buy, or they're putting in, higher offers than they want to. And they kind of want to have the inside knowledge of something coming on the market. Well, as an agent, we get some great ideas about that. So we're going to cover at least 3 different ways that you can actually get more listings in a market like this so that you can help increase the inventory and find the homes that you need for your clients. So Alex, why don't we go ahead and hit the number one just topic that we wanted to talk about as far as those 3 ways to generate leads.
Sounds good. Yeah. Number one, right off the bat, first thing I think of when I'm working with clients and we're having a trouble, getting deals accepted because this market is, it's really definitely a seller's market. It's pretty crazy. Uh, if they can't get a deal accepted with the normal traditional means of just putting them on a, MLS list and everything, and going and showing them properties and it's just not working out, what I like to do is I start circle prospecting. I will start calling, certain neighborhoods in the areas. Like, okay, I have a client that wants to buy in Westerville right now. Um, what I've been doing is we find a home they like and it goes up on the market, uh, and we don't end up getting that home. Well, I'll call all the people in that neighborhood because I know that's a home that they really enjoyed. It's a home they really liked. Well, most likely the homes in the neighborhood are going to be of a similar style. So that means, you want to try to find a home they like first, because otherwise, you might be circle prospecting, you might find that deal, which won't be bad if you find a deal, but it's not going to help your client. You're still probably going to get a sale off of it. So I'm not telling you don't do that, but the goal is to find, a neighborhood that they like, style of home they like, and you start calling and you just, basically let them know that, um, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I have a client that's looking in your neighborhood right now. And if you're interested in selling, or if you know anybody that is interested in selling, we would be happy to make an offer on your property. And you're going to get a couple people that are going to tell you no. You're going to get a couple people that will probably give you, referrals to their friends or family that are interested in selling. I mean, it's really a not utilized resource, or not as utilized as it should be resource. I mean, or circle prospecting is fantastic. Personally, I use Mojo Dialer. We already did a video talking about the difference between Mojo and RedX, and really just what circle prospecting is in general. We'll have that in the description down below. But we're also going to be doing a video in the future on the going more in depth on Mojo, because that is the one that I use, and showing you how to utilize circle prospecting. But right now, that is the number one way for me to find a off-market property for my clients. Something that isn't going to be in a bidding war, because everything that I'm showing them that is already on the market is, by the time I get it, is already, scheduled 3 days out in showings, is already by the, they're accepting highest and best the moment it comes on the market. you know uh I gave an example in another video of 3 days worth of showings. It went on the market Friday, and on Monday when they called for highest and best, it had 73 showings in 3 days and 18 offers in
Wow,
3 days, and we
incredible.
offered over asking price and we're last. I mean, it was just ridiculous. So, you have to be creative in this market. You cannot just put your clients on a, MLS search and, just go show them whatever pops up. You're not going to win. You're not going to get them a house. They're going to think you're a terrible agent, and you're just going to, have no success. You have
Well,
to be
and the
proactive.
one thing that you also would say is don't show people at the height of, at the top price point that they're approved at.
Yes.
So, you want to have some wiggle room so that they have the ability to bid higher, okay,
Mhm.
and still be within the range that they need to be in. Okay, so remember to do that as well.
Yes, because if you come in, if you're their proof for 200 and you show them homes at 200, okay, that's great. But you're never going to win if you're offering or asking price. Not in this market.
No.
Houses are going for 15,000 over easy. It's crazy, but that's just the name of the game. You have to be able to, adapt. Adaptivity is really the name of, the real estate game for a realtor. Um, and so that's definitely my number one. I think my number two would have to be, and I think you'd agree, is for sale by owner. Um, every day when I'm, waking up in the morning, I have my routine, and part of my routine is for my active buyers is, I do set them up on MLS searches, obviously. Uh, and so that way I can kind of keep track of what they're looking for. And what I'll do is, I'll check that, but I'll also open up Zillow and look at the for sale by owners they have on there and make sure that nothing popped up that day that matches any of my clients' interests. If it does, then I'm going to obviously send it to them and have them, review it and see if they like it. Because if this, in this current market, you cannot pass up the for sale by owner market that could potentially have the diamond in the rough your client is waiting for, you
And
know?
the risk is that you might not get paid a commission. I mean, honestly, there's people out there that will flat out not pay an agent, but you can also ask for your buyer to sign an agreement with you to pay you something. A lot of
Mhm,
them will, because they understand that this is your business and you have shown them a lot of properties, maybe before for sale by owner became, something that you looked at. So talk to them about it, but you definitely, like, and I know Alex believes this, at the end of the day, it's about your client and finding the right
mhm.
property. So even if you may not get paid the commission you'd like at the time, it will come back to you, whether they refer people to you or you get to relist that property later.
Yes, for those of you, okay, I am money motivated to a certain extent, but the thing for all you money motivated people out there in the real estate industry is to remember what's better. Make a couple grand on a sale right now, or I should say, in this context, you may not make as much money as you could make if you sell it for sale by owner with them. Help them find a home that is sold by for sale by owner, or not sell them anything, be on the market, looking, and they think you're a terrible agent and they never refer you. You lose out on future business because you just didn't do any of the extra steps. You kept on an MLS search and you never went above and beyond. Yeah, you might not make as much money right up front, but I mean, technically you'd be making more because you actually found them a house. And that's
Yeah, and
going to get you the referral business.
you
They're going to
built
love
that
you forever.
relationship. Right. Exactly. It's a relationship business.
You
So
can't
if
be
you
short sighted. You have to think in the
no,
future.
if you're thinking about just commission, you're not thinking about your client, which is not
Exactly.
really the point of serving. We want to serve people, right? And sometimes that
Exactly.
means that we take it as a lower commission up front. But again, I really do believe it does pay you back in the future, and it may be a couple of years down the road, but it does usually come back to you. So anything else on the for sale by owner tips that you want to give them?
You covered a great point when you were talking about how you can, ask your buyers to, cover your commission, even if it's only, 1% or whatever, it still makes up for it. And you can still negotiate with not all for sale by owners are going to be, everybody's seen that for sale by owner that will offer, literally nothing, even to the buyer's agent. But most of them aren't that bad. Most of them aren't going to pay a selling agent. They don't want to list their home, but they're going to most likely offer 1, 2, 3% commission, depending. They want to sell their home. So, definitely go out there and give that a shot. Always be checking that because you owe your client to do your due diligence and try to find them the best home and the best deal.
Well said. Well, and on top of that, you just want to make sure that with the for sale by owners, there's an option there that I want you to think about. Do comps on it. They could
Mhm.
be below, and if they are, they wouldn't mind, raising the purchase price enough to be able to cover what you need for your commission, and also maybe closing costs for your buyer.
True.
Sometimes a lot of buyers come in and they don't have enough money in the bank, and so the lender's saying, I need you to pick up closing costs on this. Well, in order to do that, you might have to increase the offer and make sure that fits in the parameters for your client, and talk to them about that if they're okay with you raising the price to get your commission, as well as raise the price to get closing costs. Usually the seller's happy, they're still netting what they want, and your buyer's extremely happy. So
Hmm.
that's just another option there.
Absolutely. And
Okay.
then, the third one that would be, you know, I believe off market properties.
Mhm.
And, I know you know a lot more about that than I do, as far as the types of off-market properties and how to go about it.
Yeah, there's, off market, like he said, is also the cold calling that you're calling through the
Mhm,
neighborhoods. But another thought process of off market would be if you're actually looking for pre-foreclosures.
mhm.
If there's people that are behind on their mortgages, they might need to sell and they're just thinking they don't have the ability to because they don't know, anything about the process. So what I would suggest is looking at it and seeing, first of all, do they need help with a hardship? Serve them first, but
Yes,
find out what their story is. Do they need a hardship package? Do they need their loan modified? Do they want to sell? And is it going to be a short sale? So those are all things that you can have a conversation with them and help. But it could be something that your client's willing to pay that pays their mortgage off. And it's
true.
not even a short sale. And it helps them to move on without foreclosure hitting their credit. So, that's what I would do if you're going to go down that road is make sure that you've talked to a real estate attorney, make sure that you've talked to anybody else that you would need to in order to help these people. Okay, because it is about also making sure that you're not giving advice that you're not licensed for.
Yes,
Okay, so you want to make sure you cover that. The other thing is vacation homes. So there's a lot of people that don't just flip homes as investors. Okay, they actually buy properties and it's the second vacation home that they use. But when they're not using it, they put it on Airbnb or bed and not bed and breakfast, but the other one, Airbnb, and what's the other one that's no, I can't think about it. But anyway, you know what I mean. It goes on the
yes,
actual sites where people rent weekly or, nightly. And they'll do that for a while and, it benefits them. But what I find is a lot of people that have vacation homes, they buy it in certain cities and states where they want to check out that place. They like it, but they get kind of tired of it. So then they want to
hmm
buy a vacation home in another state. Well, let them know, and you can call your title company and they'll give you an entire list of everybody out of state owners, basically, is
yeah,
what you're looking for. So you'll get a list and then you can contact those people and say, hey, I know that you own property in Montana. It looks like you've been renting it out. Did you know your home is probably worth a lot more than you know? I'd love to run a market analysis for you. If you're thinking of buying a vacation home in another state or another area, now the time is to actually do that and sell. That way you're getting inventory build up. So maybe I don't have a buyer for that house. Maybe it's a higher end property, but it doesn't matter because as soon as I take the listing, I'm going to have buyers for it because of my marketing, right?
yes.
So just keep that in mind. Your whole goal right now is to add inventory to the market because there just isn't enough for people right now. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, what I was just going to say is essentially that, one thing with the Airbnb is it's for them, they get into it thinking they're going to make a lot of money. And don't get me wrong, Airbnb is a profitable business for a lot of people. But things people don't think about is essentially it's like renting in the aspect of, people are in your property and they can damage it. But people that are in Airbnbs are even less mindful of the property than renters, sometimes. So it can be a costly business. And that's why people get into it. And then they realize, okay, I'm tired of it. I'm ready to move on. So,
Well, but bed bugs, believe it or
oh,
not. I know that's nasty, but a lot of
yeah.
people don't think about that when they're
hmm
deciding to keep their vacation home as something that they're going to come in and use, but they're having strangers in and out, bed bugs. Okay.
hmm
So that's something that if somebody has experienced that, they might be very irritated and they are looking to sell.
Yeah.
It's just being honest with you. That is one thing that people don't think about when they're, having that in their head. Oh, I'll just rent it out when I'm not there. It'll
Yeah.
cover my taxes. He's absolutely right. People don't necessarily care about your property the way you do.
But at the end of the day, all of these things can be used, obviously to help your client find an off-market property or, a for sale by owner, a property that isn't just listed on the MLS by an agent and help you get a better deal for them. But if you do any of these things, also, it's going to help with your business because you're generating. If you're cold calling and doing circle prospecting, you're generating more leads for yourself that you can work with. If you're following up with, you can call for sale by owners, but you can also follow up with them and just talk to them and see if you can be of service to them, and that's going to help you in the future as well. You may not get the deal, but you can get a referral. The name of the game is be good to people and you're going to get more business. So, and same thing with the pre-foreclosures. If you can help them, you're their Superman. You came in and you saved the day from them losing their home. Yeah, maybe you don't get that deal, but you get to be, first off, that's a great feeling. Second off, they're going to refer you. You're the agent that helped them save their home. I mean, that's what you have to be thinking about, is help people and good things happen.
And essentially, it's free marketing. I mean, you do
Yeah.
have to pay for the mojo a little bit, but for the
Oh,
most
it pays
part,
for itself.
besides stamps, if you're sending out direct mailers, for the most part, it's free marketing versus doing online leads. Now, I do want to mention that we know as real estate agents, not every single real estate agent is going to want a door knock. They're not going to want
Mhm.
to do cold calling. It's outside of their comfort zone. And so what we find, just because we coach so many agents, is that if we're telling you to do something that it's not in your makeup for your personality, you're not going to do it. So, as far as the type of person that's going to do the cold calling, the type of person that's going to actually be comfortable with talking to strangers and not having them come to you first, that's going to be somebody typically that's like a D personality, and quite possibly a C, because they don't overthink the situation. Okay. So we have an excellent training that we actually did a couple weeks ago, and we're going to have a link below too. And it's basically falling in love with prospecting according to your personality, which I absolutely loved doing the training. We had so many great coaches on the call that explained how they actually prospect and generate more business based on their personality. So make sure you check that link out below so that you can also figure out. And I highly, highly suggest you doing a DISC personality assessment on yourself if you haven't already, because that is free through Tony Robbins' website, and it's a very detailed one, and you can't trick it. It basically, it's asking you questions that are going to just nail your personality. And with that being said, you want to do that because you want to make sure that you're able to have success in this business. And in order to do that, you have to be able to prospect with what you're comfortable with. But then you need to take massive action. Okay. So there's nobody that's successful in real estate that hasn't paid the price by massive action. Okay. Just keep that in mind. Like Alex said, you can generate hundreds and hundreds of leads doing this, but guess what he does every day? He takes massive action. He gets on the phone
Have to
every
do it.
day and does it.
Hmm.
Even if he doesn't feel like it, he does it because that's part of his game plan in order to increase the amount of people he's talking to daily, because Alex knows his numbers. He
Hmm.
knows what he needs to hit in order to hit the income that he wants. If you don't know your numbers, we also have trainings that are actually, and why don't we throw that link in there too? That is
Yes.
going back to our 4-hour workshop where we talk about the business plan. Okay, and how you can know your numbers if you've never been shown before, how many contacts you need to make every day that turns into so many leads, that turns into so many sales.
It's
Okay,
essential.
so
It's the building block for your business.
yeah, so we're going to throw all those links in there, you guys. This is free content that we're giving you that is amazing stuff. So make sure you go through it. And Alex, anything else you want to add?
And there's nothing else as far as the three uh, subjects we were talking about today. But you guys, if you like the content we're providing, give us a like, give us a subscribe, comment down below if you have anything else you want to see or hear about. We come up with content to give you guys to provide value, but we would be more than happy to create videos based on the things you suggest. If you have any questions you want to hear about or hear answered from us, we're happy to do that for you.
Yeah, what are you struggling with, right?
Exactly.
So if you're struggling with something and you're just not wrapping your head around it, personal message either one of us, chat below. We're on Facebook and also on
Hmm.
YouTube. So you guys, please let us know, because we want to make sure that you're not struggling and that we're providing great content for you. So you guys have an amazing week, and we will see you next week.